All right. So thank you for those of you that have joined us here for our live webinar on protecting your digital presence. And so we'll be going over different aspects of not only protecting it from, say, if you get your Facebook account hacked or making that more secure, but also just making sure you own a lot of the different portions of your digital presence. There's a lot of different places that people are just not aware that they don't have the true ownership of certain aspects of their digital presence. And so we're going to go through some of those aspects today, and then making sure at least you can double check and see or check in with your marketing company or whoever you're using to help you with things like your website, and just make sure again that these things are accessible for you to be able to do. Because again, you are the owner of your shop. You should be the owner of kind of everything in terms of your digital presence as well. And so for those of you that this is your first time jumping on a webinar with me in terms of who I am. And so my name is Kelsey, we run a marketing company called Lift Auto Repair Marketing. And so we only focus on digital marketing for auto repair shops. And so through this, we're managing upwards of 40K per month in ad spend currently. We handle Facebook and Google support all the time in terms of questions and concerns there. And so, yeah, so through this experience, we've been able to find different things that we've noticed could be very beneficial for owners to know ahead of time. So especially recently, we have had a few clients switch over and they're not realizing, oh, they don't have access to certain aspects of their digital presence. And then we need to hunt down the old owner, whoever it may be, to get that access. And so we're going to go through again today, just making sure you have those things covered and taken care of. So yeah, and so today in today's training, we'll be going over owning your digital presence, kind of those different aspects of where to look, and just all the different places that you have a digital presence on. It's going to be a fair amount. The steps to protect your overall digital presence. Mainly the steps we'll be going over will be in Facebook, because there's a lot of different ways. There's a big thing that took place in terms of hacked accounts, which I'll be able to share here in a second. But what to do if like that gets disabled, how to then get that re-enabled, and then bad spammy reviews, when those come through, how to report those, how to get those removed the proper way. Additionally, we're going over kind of differences between personal accounts, business pages, and business ad accounts within Facebook. They're all different. Don't ask me why Facebook makes it so complicated. It gives so many different options and things to have access to, and then making them link properly is another ordeal in and of itself. And so we'll go over some of these apps. We'll try to simplify that process for you. So yeah, so accounts being hacked. So I think a month ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, there was about 1 million users on Facebook that were hacked. There's an article, you just type in million users hacked in Facebook and Google. I'm sure you'll see a bunch of articles that appear. That's where I found this article. But yeah, so a lot of people got hacked, but they got hacked through the fact that it was 2 accounts or 2 or 3 accounts that manage a whole bunch of different like Facebook business pages that then link to people's Facebook profiles. And so because those 2 original ones got hacked, it kind of just had this trickle and ripple effect across the board of just a bunch of people not having secure accounts and all this data just kind of getting swooped in. And so we want to make sure that something like that doesn't happen for your accounts here today. Because again, I'm sure you've seen where like one of your friends has this random post that pops up, or friend requests when you're already friends with them, or spammy messages that come in from these people. So again, everyday people can get hacked all the time. And so even more so that hack can easily go up to your business account that then has your credit card information. And so we obviously don't want that to be hacked at all either. And you get these huge fees that are getting racked up because someone's spending money on it. And then that's depending on what credit card company you have, that could take months to get that back. So we want to make sure that you're keeping things secure. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that you own your accounts. You are a shop owner first and foremost. And so you should be the owner of everything in terms of your digital presence. You're not renting a website. Like if you're not getting back-end access, you're not truly owning your website. So you want to make sure that you're able to have access to certain elements. So first off, do you own your domain? So some basic questions to know: who is your domain provider? So the domain providers will be places like GoDaddy or Google Domains or Namecheap, or there's so many different places now that you can purchase a domain, but make sure that you know where that is. And if you don't know what a domain is, that's the URL, the ending URL portion of your website. So if you're billsautorepairshop.com, billsautorepairshop.com is the domain name. And so you want to make sure that you're aware of where you purchased that, or if someone else purchased that, you better know where they purchased it to, because there's a lot of power within the domain name that can get carried over a lot of different places. And so on top, once you know where it was purchased from, what is the username, what's the password, you should know exactly in terms of how to log in to that access of your domain name. And then is it set to auto renew? So there's a lot of, it's usually automatically selected for people, but I would, if you're not sure, go into where your domain is and make sure it is checked on auto renew. Because if your domain isn't on auto renew, you're not checking your email for one reason or another, if that time lapses, someone can come in and just purchase your domain, and then boom, they can move your website over and everything, it can be gone. So you want to make sure that set to auto renew, and then you have full access and abilities to your given domain. One way, if you're like Kelsey, I have no idea where my domain is. I mean, someone a while ago took care of it for me, and I honestly don't remember how to contact them. Yes, that's a huge red flag, but you want to make one way that you can check if you just type in Google, type in whois.com, and then it'll pop up a URL that's a little bit longer than just whois. And then you can just type in domain name there. And then from there, you can find what's called registrar details, and it'll show you where the domain was purchased from. And so I'll throw it in the comment section of this video afterwards. I should have threw it in here. It's just a really long URL. And so that's why I didn't place it in here. But if you need to find out who that is, or you can just message me and I'll look it up for you, and I'll send you a screenshot of what that is. It will show you exactly where the domain is registered. And then you can figure out from there, okay, this person probably has access to it, or you can at least contact support, show them proof that you're the owner of the business. So yeah, these are the proper steps you want to definitely take in terms of your domain name. Because again, there's a lot of power SEO wise that rides with your domain. So you want to know you have access to it. Second, do you own your website? And so a lot of times a lot of owners just assume that they have access to their website. But for example, when people decide to use our services, or I'm sure if other marketers have dealt with this too, where someone had a different marketing company before, they're switching to a different provider. All of a sudden, your old provider is saying, oh, you can't just transfer over the website. So that to me means that you did not truly own your website, because it does not just carry with you wherever you go, despite whoever is helping you manage it. And so yes, there are certain companies that build it with code, and with that, there can be a certain level of robustness and power that can be built within the website that way. But I mean, you can get plenty of power building a website in terms of being able to then transfer over that website to a different person. So usually the most common place to build them will be with WordPress. And so yes, there's a lot of different technical details on there. Typically though, you want to at least know that you have access to it, a username and password to the back end of your website. Usually you can find this by going to your domainname.com/WP-admin. That usually will lead to the back end of the website, where you'll see a little thing pop up that says username, password. And if you don't know what that is, reach out to your website provider. They should be able to quickly give that to you. If they're beat around the bush in terms of, oh, I don't know, we'll look into it, then that's another big red flag, because for some reason or another, they're trying to hide access from you for that website. So you want to make sure that you have access to the back end of your website. And then that way, you can transfer over ownership, because this means your old provider, they have a username and password login as well. You could easily delete that user, create a new one for the new company, and boom, now they have access. So that's what it should be, a very simple process in terms of transferring over ownership of websites. If you're getting, again, they're saying that, oh, you can just put in this request for us, but we will not give access, all this other kind of beating around the bush in terms of doing that. And more than likely is due to the fact that they built it with some kind of code that then they cannot even give access to a regular user, and thus they don't want website transfer. It kind of creates a stickiness within their company of people needing to use them for this service. But in my opinion, with you being an owner, you should be able to take the website, really do whatever you want with it because you paid for it. So That's at least my 2 cents on that aspect of things. So any questions there so far in terms of domain access or website access? Oh, so yeah. So again, that website for domain was, if you just type in whois.com in Google, it's a little bit longer of a URL that's there that will pop up, but that first URL should be the one that it'll pop up to a screen where it just says enter your domain name. You type that in, press enter, and it'll go from there. In terms of your website, you can also check in on how it was built. So you go to built, BUILT, with WITH.com. So there you'll type in a domain name as well, and it kind of spits out all this different back end detail of a website. Kind of shows different plugins that are attached to it, so on and so forth, kind of the background of how the website was built. So here, if you see a lot of different WordPress related plugins, then you know your website was built with WordPress. And so thus transferring of ownership should not be a problem at all. Now, if you're not seeing any WordPress plugins, say you see a bunch of CSS or some other coding in the background there, like JavaScript, then you'll know that, like, more than likely the website will not be able to transfer. They have it tied to their database somehow, and thus that helps them scale and build websites really quickly. But then in terms of you getting actual access to this website, if you decide not to use their services anymore, that's gone. So that means when you go to a new provider, you're going to have to pay for a new website to have that rebuilt all over again, which can be a pretty penny in terms of the time it takes to build a brand new website. And so again, you want to just double check on those things. And if they're not able to work with you on that, then it may be time to find a different opportunity where you are able to have true access to kind of your website and domain names there. So yeah, good questions. Let's go on. So next is, do you own your Facebook? And so this is one of the trickiest things to always deal with in terms of understanding if you truly have ownership. Usually the biggest issue is understanding what email and what username created the Facebook business page to begin with. Now, if you know that it was your personal page that you created with, you are good to go. This happens maybe 50% of the time that we run into with owners, that they know exactly which Facebook profile it is that created their business page. A lot of times it's a shop that maybe historically was created by a different individual. They purchased the shop from them, and then now they thought, oh yeah, they transferred over access to me because it says that I have admin access to the Facebook page, but that isn't true business ownership of the page. It's different. Again, I do not know why Facebook makes this so difficult and tricky. It's a lot simpler within like your Google business listing, for example. But yeah, within Facebook, there's a process you need to take to truly transfer over ownership and then delete out the old owner. So we'll go over kind of some of these steps in order to check in on this here as we move along. Let's do the kind of the settings of the business page, where then you can see what user access has different levels. Sometimes it doesn't even show you outright. It's a different place that you need to go to then see, oh, okay, this person actually has access to the business account, not the business page itself. They weren't linking, so on and so forth. And so, yeah, I apologize ahead of time. It is a little bit confusing in terms of how Facebook or Meta or whatever the heck they're called now, in terms of how they go about doing it. But we'll try to simplify those things for you here. And so do you have admin rights? Again, admin rights means that you have full capacity to edit, change anything on the Facebook business page. You can add and subtract users, and then you can link the business page to the business account. Two different things, and only if you have true ownership are you able to do such a thing. So business account, managing your business page, that's where, again, we'll go over if you even have a business account. There's a different step that's created that you need to do on the business.facebook.com side of things to create a business account, and then allows you to manage the business page. And then do you have an ad account? Again, another separate piece in terms of Facebook of having to create to run ads. It's not as simple as just boosting posts. Like, yes, anyone can just, if you have an admin right to a business page, you can boost the posts you make there. But to make true ads and be able to manipulate kind of the scope and how that's working, you need an ad account within Facebook. So we're going to go over that and if you truly own that or not. And so do you own your ad account? And so On top of this, we're going over owning your Google ad account and making sure that you have control over that aspect. And so within Google Ads, a lot of time, at least you want to have manager access so you can see what's going in and out of that account. And then you can edit like billing, things like that. So that way you at least know you have access to that. So a lot of marketing companies, including ourselves, it's a lot easier for us to create the Google ad account because we have a lot of library of details in terms of like the negative keywords and ad groups that work and that we can carry over to new accounts, and it helps us build it a lot quicker and effectively. But from there, you should be able to see within that account if you want to. So you should be able to be added as a user. So that's what I mean in terms of owning your ad account on that side. And then could you be locked out? You want to make sure that you can't be locked out of said accounts. Okay. So now we're going to go a little bit into protecting your accounts here and talking a lot about kind of that Facebook level of support to make sure that you're secure there. But any questions so far? I know I've been talking a fair amount, but please, if you have any questions, go again to the chat. And I'll be able to answer those. All right, if not, I'm going to keep going. But again, feel free to shoot those comments in here. I'm going to keep peeking over if I do see any, and hopefully I can answer those as fast as I can for you guys. All right, so we're going to be talking about Facebook Protect and is it turned on? So again, what is Facebook Protect? So Facebook Protect is a level of security that Facebook has added, mainly in regards to two-factor authentication. So that's when they're sending your phone a text message. I know that gets cumbersome, but it's an additional level of security that allows you to, again, protect your account. Understand if like people from a different country are trying to log into your account, and it makes your account a lot more secure, a lot less risk of being hacked. Granted, it can still happen, but this level of security makes it a lot harder to have your Facebook account hacked. And so I'll go over here the exact steps, kind of what it looks like on your don't do it with me right now. I mean, I'll have a replay that goes back out for this so that you can follow the steps along to make sure that this is taken care of, because I don't want you to get lost. I don't want to accidentally move too fast for you as we go along and then you get stuck. So two-factor authentication. So again, this is Facebook will have to confirm your identity when logging in from a device that does not recognize an even different IP addresses. So for example, if you are trying to log in from a computer on a different Wi-Fi that you've never been on before, then Facebook is going to require a two-factor authentication. So there's going to be different steps. There's 3 different steps that you can do for two-factor. The most common one and easiest one is going to be through texting your phone, since most people like myself have our phone on us all the time. And so you can easily get that text message to your phone that then gives access to yourself really quickly. But again, if someone else does it, you get a text from Facebook and you weren't even trying to log on, you know, something fishy is going on. You can look into, you can see exactly in the settings in terms of where someone's trying to log into, and you can deny that. So yeah, so the different methods. One is a physical security key. And so that's something that you can purchase at the store. It's like almost like a little USB port that then allows you to go through the process of plugging that in, and it's Facebook can then trust that key that within the USB that it has to allow you to log in. You can do login codes from third-party apps. So there's different apps that you can download on your phone that then has like a running code that is constantly changing, say every 15 seconds or so. And so whenever it like appears, you just pop open that app on your phone and it's linked to Facebook, it types in that code, then allows you to process. So it almost works the same as a text message, but then it's just another app that you have on your phone. So typically that's where I don't do that one. So I typically always do the text message to your mobile phone. It's just the easiest way to have it linked. But now again, if you're someone that just doesn't want to have your mobile phone number tied into Facebook in any shape or form, then one of these other options will be the best way. But I mean, your mobile phone number is pretty, I mean, that's where everyone contacts you anyway. So it's not like a big way for someone to hack you in anyway. So this is going to be the go-to way in terms of texting. So how to do that? So this is, again, this is the view from your phone, the exact steps to take on your phone. If you are going through the steps of doing this. And so first and foremost, you need to make sure that you add your cell phone number. Now you can add multiple cell phone numbers on here. But what we want to do is you're going to go to your account settings on your phone. You're going to go to your personal information. Then you're going to want to click on contact info. Then there'll be a text message setting. And then in the text messaging, you can throw in numbers. You don't have to just throw in one. You can throw in multiple on there too, if there's different numbers that you want to have receive a text message. And so, but this will be the best way to have that confirmed. Okay. And so here also you can check where you are logged in and remove any that aren't relevant. So if you say you've ever gone on vacation on say Airbnb or something along those lines, and you logged on, or maybe you went to the library and you logged onto a computer or a friend's computer and you logged onto Facebook, but you forgot to log out. This will show you all the places that you are logged in, and then you can just quickly uncheck that and log out yourself from those different places. And so to do that, you're going to go to settings, then security and login here. And then here, so it'll show where you're logged in. So it'll show all the different places. It shows different phones, PCs, where they're located. And then so simply you can just click on the three dots, and then there'll be a little action item for you to be able to log out of that device. And so here, this is where I would check and make sure that the places that you're logged in are the only places that you want to be logged in. It should be cities that you actually live in. You see different countries and things, say something pops up in India or someplace else that just, it shouldn't be there, make sure you log out of that. Again, that'll help make sure that you do not get hacked. Okay, and so you can also be preemptive in terms of confirming your identity. So if you do get hacked, the first thing that Facebook is going to ask for is your identity. They need to know it's you. And so this process, again, of working with customer support can be very painful with Facebook. It's crazy how long they do take to do things there. I mean, as big of a corporation as they are, you'd figure they'd be pretty good at this point in terms of customer support, especially for people that are trying to spend money with them and their ad account. But that urgency is definitely not there for them. And so one thing to preemptively do to help the process move along is going to be to confirm your identity. And so the first thing that they always ask for is going to be your driver's license. So to do that, you can go through account settings, then click on general, then identity confirmation, and there you're able to upload a copy of your driver's license straight into there. And that's another level of security there, where now you can prove your identity there and be able to tell Facebook, hey, this is what's going on. This is me. I need this fixed and taken care of. So another step here, just to make the process a little bit quicker and smoother with Facebook customer support. Because again, the steps that it takes to get with them can take days at times. And so anything you can do to speed up that process, the better. So again, we don't want you just not to be able to spend money on ads if you're really trying to, say for some reason you have an event that you plan, you put a lot of work into, then the time comes to run an ad, and then boom, you realize, oh wait, my ad account is suspended. I had no idea why is this happening, or you're hacked and you can't, all of a sudden you can't get access. This is where you want to make sure, you have your identity confirmed to speed up the process for yourself. And then also you want to make sure you set up login alerts. So in security login, and then you can check on the box to get alerts about unrecognized login. So again, this can be cumbersome if you're in terms of the amount of emails that you can get, but definitely helps keep you safe. I know I would want to know if someone is logging in for someplace that I wasn't even trying to log into at any time. I don't care if it was me. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So since we do manage and run a fair amount of Facebook ad accounts, so we want to make sure that it's secure for yourself, especially say you have multiple shops and it's running different Facebook pages. This will all help make sure that you're safe. Scam or real. And so also you're able to see emails from Facebook. So I know a lot of kind of these scam or hacker places. They send you that email that's like urgent from Facebook, and click on this checkbox to update your information. You click on it and it's like, wait a second, should I even be filling this out? Is this even Facebook? People do a really good job of making it look a lot like what it is. And so to really see if it came from Facebook, you can check. And so you can go to security and login, and then you can see recent emails from Facebook and see exactly what they would have sent you at what time. And if that's not matching up, then you know it's probably from some sort of spam or hack account. So that's where, again, you want to make sure and check for yourself here in terms of the emails that get sent from Facebook. And don't use the same password for Facebook anywhere else. And so I know here, even I'm guilty of this. I save passwords way too often straight onto the computer. And so it's very important to either not only change it every 6 months, but leverage something like LastPass or some of these different websites that allow you to kind of create a long coded password that then can link up, and it'll save for yourself, but it's secure within kind of their software platform. So you want to make sure that, again, it's a unique password that not only it's the only place that they can log in and it works in Facebook. It doesn't also work for your bank account. It doesn't also work for your Netflix account or whatever it may be. You want to make sure that it's all unique. So there's not a high risk that one place gets hacked. You can get hacked across the board of everywhere that they see that email associated. So just rule of thumb there in terms of that change. I know it can be cumbersome to have to do it, but again, you'd rather be safe than sorry. So disabled and hacked accounts. Now the time may come where it happens regardless. You go through these processes, or you decided to be lazy and not go through any of the processes, and now boom, my account's hacked. What the heck do I do? So we'll go over some of the steps of what we've seen and how to go ahead and deal with it. So first and foremost, you now need to reach out to customer support with Facebook. And like I mentioned before, it can be painful to deal with Facebook support. There's no sense of urgency there. I know on your side, there's definitely urgency because you're hacked, but they deal with a fair amount of this. And so the biggest thing that I always recommend is that just kindness goes a long way. I mean, yes, you're probably at a very high stress level, but just being nice and cordial with them and kind of even asking them how their day is going. And again, creating that ease for them, knowing that, okay, they're not going to be dealing with an individual that's just going to be on their neck, super annoyed, irritated, when, again, it's not the customer support person's fault. They're just the person that is having to hear about what's going on. So do your best to kind of swallow pride, be patient, and be kind to them, and it will help the process move along. They're going to be a lot more willing to help you, because if not, they're just going to be like, oh, refer to this article, refer to this article, refer to this article. And there's no help whatsoever, because you probably have already looked at the article a bunch of times and it didn't help. That's why you're there to contact support anyways. So you want to make sure that just being kind will give you a better shot at getting helped better. And then make sure that you create your business ad accounts. Do not use your personal ad accounts to do this. Again, you want things to be separate for your different business pages. So to do this, you can go to business.facebook.com, and there you're able to not only create a business account for the page, but then you can create an ad account for the page. Then it ends up leading you to ads.facebook.com, I believe is one of the toggles from there, that then once you have a business account, you can create an ad account that automatically links to that business page, and you fill out your information there. And there you can know that you're the true owner. Now, if you run into an issue where you try to create the ad account and it's saying that it already exists for this business, then you know, okay, who in the world is owning this other ad account? The only other people that it could be is probably a previous marketing company that you had. They just built it for you. And so now you need them to transfer over the access correctly to you, or you would just need to link it to a different email and start one over. But ideally, you would at least want to know that they closed out that other one. So you want to make sure that is taking place there. And when accounts are disabled, so if you in help, you can click other issue to talk to a person, and otherwise, again, they'll send you an article. And again, that an article is going to do no good. You can easily have found that on your Google search or Facebook search through their help portal to find these things. The big reason is you're trying to reach a person. So just click on other issue, you get to a person, and then just be kind to them. And then you can also find answers here. So if you go to facebook.com/business/help, and there you kind of go through a help system where there's a kind of a search bar of like, oh, what's your problem? And you can start spitting out articles. So every once in a while that it will be useful, and we'll give you steps to actually help with the issue that you have. More often than not, it will be an issue that an article can't help. And so you want to go through that other issue section to get a call, speak to a person. All right, so that is Facebook. Any other questions in terms of Facebook accounts, different levels of accounts, how to go about doing that? And again, if you end up needing help, just let me know. Shoot me a message after this, reach out to us, and I'll sit down and help you just at least understand if you do have ownership access or not, because that's a big thing you want to make sure does take place. Because without ownership access, there's certain things that you're just not able to do that you didn't realize. Say when a new marketing company is trying to have like business access, so then that way, say they can post on your behalf, you're not able to do that if just your personal account is the one that's running the page. It's not an access level that's granted. And then when the business tries to just request it, you don't see the approval anywhere because it didn't go to you. It went to whoever created the business account side of things. And so you want to make sure that you're aware of at least who that is, and then you want that transferred over to yourself. But now bad reviews. So every once in a while, bad reviews will come through. Some people just feel the need to post those, but other times there's bad reviews that come through that you're just like, this is not real. I have no idea who this person is. They didn't come into the shop, or maybe one was a bad review, but then they told their brother, they told their cousin, they told everyone in town. You're starting to get a bunch of bad 1-star reviews because of this one issue. So what do you need to do to get a bunch of these removed? Because again, only one is technically valid in terms of the experience that they had. The others are not. They were not real customers that came in, and so under Google's guidelines, so those are considered spam and not accurate reviews that reflects the business, and so you can flag them. And so what you want to do is make sure that, again, first, do not get overly emotional behind it. Yes, 1-star reviews suck, but there's a process, especially if they're not real, to get them removed. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not. We'll go over some of the steps to be able to flag those and hopefully get them removed. But also by continuing, at least being cordial in your response, just saying, hey, we're not sure, we don't find you as a customer that came into our shop, but if you are in fact someone that did come in, we apologize for this service. If you could reach out to us so we can help clear this up and make this right, we would greatly appreciate it. Do a comment like that, because if, say, I was looking for an auto repair shop and I see that, they responded really nicely to a 1-star review, I'd be like, that's probably just some sort of spam thing going on. I'm not going to care about the review. But if you don't even leave a remark around it, then it might appear to a prospective customer that's going to come in that, this shop doesn't even care if people are upset. And so you don't want that notion. So again, put yourself on other people's shoes, be professional, and it will go a long way there. And so bad reviews and reporting spam. So in Facebook, you can report spam here. So if you go to settings and then privacy, and then page and tagging, and allow others to view and leave reviews on your page. So you can turn off these reviews if someone is intentionally spamming you. So if you're just starting to see a whole bunch come in, you would just go here and turn off reviews for the time being. And then that way you can then reach out to Facebook to have that taken care of. And then in terms of within Google, if you go to your list of reviews, next to each review, there's going to be like those dots. You can click on the dots, and then you can start going to the mechanism of flagging the review. So when you flag the review, it will kind of go to the backend system of Google, and then there's like questions that they have of, why do you believe this is not a real review? And they kind of have all their selections there. Click on whichever one makes sense. But then also on top of that, you can have other people flag those as well if those are in fact inaccurate. Do not keep flagging it over and over if it was in fact something real, because then there'll be a lot more problems that come from your account listing. So you want to make sure if it is in fact a false review, try to work with these people, get them removed manually on their end, because that's going to be the best and cleanest way to make it happen, but also through flagging them. And then on top of that, ask people to, hey, can you share your real experience, because we've been experiencing a bunch of spam reviews that came through. Can you share your real experience with us if you had a positive experience? And then you can start getting a good amount of 5 stars that flow in that way to kind of drown out the noise a little bit of those poor ones. But just do your best in terms of following those steps. For some reason or another, people can be malicious at times when they just overreact, but as a business owner, try not to be overly emotional, and take a step back and respond accordingly, and then go through the steps to get these reviews removed. So yeah, that's kind of everything that goes on in terms of protecting digital presence, both protecting it from hackers, protecting it from bad reviews, and then also making sure that you have ownership to these things. So that way you can make sure the action items are taking place. So if you don't have ownership, there's certain requests that you're just not able to put in, and Facebook are just like, well, I don't know why you're requesting this. You're not even the owner. And then that's a whole nother ballgame that then you're having to deal with. So again, double check and make sure all these things that you do have access to, and it'll make your life a lot easier in the future, especially if you ever have to give additional access or you end up switching marketing companies, things like that. It'll make that process a lot smoother for everyone involved. So yeah, so that is it for today. If you want to reach out in terms of checking in on these items, if you need help checking if you have ownership, or how to secure your accounts, things like that, please feel free to give me a call, or you can schedule a meeting here, liftautorepairmarketing.com/schedule. Or again, you can call or you can text, whatever is easier for you. You can call this number or text 877-733-3446. And so I appreciate everyone's time today, but are there any I guess last questions before we sign off here? Okay, no, I'm not seeing anything come through. So again, I appreciate you all being here with me today. If you're watching the replay, thank you for taking the time to watch this replay. Hopefully it was helpful and beneficial for you. But again, I'll see you guys again next time. Thanks. Bye.